Hi, Jan here from the Inspiration Journal. Thank you for clicking on this video. This video is all about letting go of clutter and physical things around the home, your car, that sort of thing, and how it can impact your spirituality, your well-being, your happiness, freedom, energy, all that sort of thing, which most people don't associate maybe with their home life and stuff. They think they can just shut the door on it, hide it away and go out into the world, and no one will be any the wiser. But this, unfortunately, is not true. Energy, there's very much a flow of energy, like I was talking about in previous videos. Energy must flow. So if you want energy to be able to start a new business, a new relationship, manifest something new into your life, you have to let that energy flow. And if there's a blockage of a clutter, there's emotional clutter, but there's also physical clutter as well, which sometimes is actually easier to deal with than the emotional stuff. So what I really recommend to my clients is they start with the physical clutter first. This is because another universal law, because everyone talks about these universal laws and it's always like, oh, the law of attraction, and that's all they're interested in. But actually, if you look at the other universal laws, one of them is as within, without. So basically, whatever's around you physically is similar to what's inside you spiritually. So it's sort of like a reflection, and also the universe will reflect back to you your current state. And this is the law of attraction. So basically, if your current state is like abundance and joy, that's what you'll get reflected back to you. So people also refer to that as the law of attraction, but it is the law of reflection, actually. But anyway, we're talking about the law as within, without, that one. So yeah, what I do recommend to my clients is actually physically clearing out clutter is sometimes a lot easier than dealing with the emotional baggage. Like there's a lot of things like past childhood traumas and sort of relationship issues and stuff, which are actually really hard to deal with because there's a lot of emotion attached to them. But clearing clutter is actually a lot easier, because it's a physical process, which you can and you can see and assess how far you've got with it. But then again, it can be difficult because there are emotions attached to all of your belongings. And this is where all your energy goes. It goes into, every time you look at something, there's a process which goes on in your mind, which reminds you maybe of, you might not be conscious of this, but this is what's happening, is like a tie to that particular object. It reminds you of like where you bought it, the person you were with, sort of the feelings you had when you had this object. Maybe you didn't have much money, so that was the best you could afford at the time, or maybe you did have a lot of money and you splurged it all on this object. So there's all these like emotional attachments attached to literally everything. So yeah, by getting rid of these things, which aren't necessarily serving you in your life anymore, then you slowly cut the ties of these little drainages. Drainages, is that even a word? I don't know. These drains of energy, which are sort of like constantly thinking about, what this possession means to you, because it's not necessarily the possession itself, it's the attachment that you have to it, which causes the energetic drain. And I very much try and choose carefully what comes into my life. This can be quite difficult. People talk to me and they say, well, what about gifts? You might have gifts in your home, which people have, with all best of heart, best interest, they've given you this thing, and you look at it and every time you see it, it's like, oh, it reminds you of something. I don't know, it's not a good gift. But anyway, I always say once you've given something, your attachment to it is over. So what the person does with that gift is entirely up to them. And you might think that hiding the gift away, like putting it in the downstairs toilet or whatever, that would work, but it doesn't. It's still there. It's still your little attachment to it is thinking, I've got that hideous China dog. I had this like China dog for quite a long time, which I wasn't keen on at all. It was really not nice, and which I had to get rid of. But the best thing to do is to honestly say to the person, like, oh, thank you so much for this gift, but it's not for me. Is that the worst thing in the world? And like, if people are horrified, and I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? Because you obviously don't want to hurt your friends' feelings or whatever. But then again, living with something, or even better, just sort of like, oh, this would be a fantastic gift for somebody else, you know, somebody that would like it. Or, you know, I found the best thing to do with gifts is to actually say in advance what I would like, because people are always asking me, like, oh, what would you like for Christmas? And I used to say, oh, I don't mind anything, and then you'll get inundated with a lot of like weird stuff which you don't necessarily want to have around, yeah, you're sort of stuck with like what to do with it without offending the person. So you know, it's difficult, isn't it? But I found if people sort of say to me, oh, what would you like, and you can say something, you know, maybe a consumable product is brilliant, because then, you know, if it's something you like and something you consume, it's not sort of around the house for ages. Like, you know, maybe some soaps or something like, or candles, or, you know, something which isn't necessarily going to be around for long. Or there might be something which you actually do like, you know, a product like a jumper or something which you can say. But yeah, it's just about holding your own power, and you know, it's what you surround yourself in life. It's entirely up to you. It's totally your decision. You only have one life. You know, you don't want to surround yourself with like tat, basically, that, you know, people, you know, put upon you, or that you buy yourself even. I mean, you know, I'm guilty of this, sort of going out and think, oh, that looks lovely, and then you bring it back and you think, you know, there's another you know, collectors of things. This is dreadful, isn't it? People that collect lots of, I don't know, frogs or mugs or dishes, and, you know, they'll have loads of them, and oh dear. Yeah, anyway, as you can probably tell, I'm quite I prefer a clear area, and like my main problem is books. As you can probably see, I love books, but to be honest, they're not a problem, because I love them, and each one I really enjoy. But I do go through them quite regularly and have a bit of a cull as to, you know, what's not working for me. You know, maybe books I bought at the time and I felt I needed that sort of bit of inspiration, but now I've passed that sort of, you know, area of my life where it's been helpful, so then I can give that book away and stuff like that. But yeah, it is about looking at your possessions and how you can go through them, really, and just sort of like think, well, do I really love this? You know, do I want this in my life? Just choosing, that's the main word, choosing what you want in your life, not surrounding yourself with things that, you know, you don't want. And the freedom this gives is absolutely amazing, that you're not wading through clutter, and because clutter can be everywhere. It can be in cars, cupboards, you know, because some people think if they clear all their home and shove everything into a cupboard, or like a downstairs basement, or, you know, all their drawers are a mess, or they've got everything shoved up on top of the wardrobes, you know, this is a symbol of your internal mind. You know, it's like, oh, it looks all nice and clear, but it's not. It's actually like jumbled up. So if you want to clear space and energy, just clear out all those drawers, those wardrobes, you know, the top of the wardrobes, under the bed, all those little places where you hide stuff. You think, well, it doesn't matter, because it does. The universal energy, it's everywhere. You know, there's not a place where it doesn't go. There's not a place where you're not connected. You are always connected. Like I'm thinking now, and I have this absolutely hideous sort of door stopper thing under my bed, which I'm going to get rid of straight after this video, because it really isn't a reflection of me at all, and I don't know why it's there. It's just I think a lot of people have issues to throwing things away, like especially the older generation, and I have a lot of these issues passed down from my mum. It's kind of like wartime mentality, like, oh, this will be useful in the future, and this mentality is very much a sort of a lack mentality. It's very sort of scared about the future, like, oh, what if I need this, you know, that sort of thing. So once you release it and sort of trust that you're not going to need these things. I mean, I'm definitely not going to need a crocheted cat door stopper ever in my life. So why I've got it, who knows? So yeah, so it's just being able to let it go. I think part of the issue also is I don't like throwing things away, and I think a lot of people will have this. If they can pass it on to something useful, then that's fine. They think, well, fine, I'll give it to charity, or I'll give it to a friend or something. But to be honest, if it is complete tat, throw it away. There is a cycle of life. There's a yin and a yang. There is a time when things have reached the end of their usefulness, and they can be thrown away, and hopefully they will biodegrade, and you won't be polluting the planet, because this is this is a whole other video. It's sort of like your consumer footprint, that sort of thing. But no, just keep up with the flow in your life right now, and which is a flow of energy, which is a flow which unblocks all this old stuff which is no longer serving you, and frees you up to have creative energy for far, far better things, and to manifest amazing joy and abundance in your life. And don't feel lack. Do this clearing of clutter with a feeling of joy and gratitude, and you can say to things, thank you for being in my life, and thank you for your uselessness. That's not very nice. I'm thinking of the cat thing again. Usefulness to me, and I'll pass you on to someone else, or even to the dump, the skip, wherever, to end your journey in life. There's loads of brilliant books on sort of clearing up and that sort of thing. There's one called, I think it's Swedish death cleaning, which sounds really gloomy, but it's actually quite enlightening, this book. It sort of talks about getting all your affairs in order, which apparently, Swedish people, presumably, due to the title, they must do this sort of like, and it's so like, if they die, their friends and relatives, they've got everything in order, and they'll know exactly, it will be an easy process for your friends and relatives to deal with your possessions after you're gone, because just so it's for peace of mind as well. So you're sort of, when you're alive, obviously, your energies aren't sort of going down, oh, what if this happens, what if they can't find my funeral plan, or what if nobody knows what to do with this stuff, and what if it all goes in the bin, or it's crazy, our attachment to possessions and the energies that we use up just thinking about them all the time. But this is why minimalism, God, that's not an easy word. Anyway, this is why minimalism is such a growing, booming industry concept. It's so big at the moment, because people are realizing that by being minimalistic, by only choosing what brings love and joy into your life, by that you can free up these energies, and that's basically what you're doing by choosing to be minimalistic. That being said, it's very difficult. I mean, this is a concept by Marie Klondike. I hope I've said that right, in her sort of, The Magic of Tidying Up, which is a brilliant book and I highly recommend. But she does talk a lot about sort of, loving every object in your life and choosing it with love. But I think that's quite difficult when it's practical things like ironing boards and dishcloths and stuff like that. There's only a certain amount of love I feel for these things. But yeah, it's just about choosing the best, really. I'm sure you get the idea. Anyway, so I very much hope this video has inspired you all to go and do some tidying up, decluttering, get rid of all that junk and stuff that's cluttering up your physical home, and your car and your garages and any other storage spaces. Because a lot of people, they'll live in a beautifully clear flat, and they'll actually have stuff stored like with parents and things like that. And you can't get away with this, guys. There's still a massive, actually, energy connection to these things all the time. So, just remember, you can't take any of this stuff with you. It's only there to help you in this life. And if it's not helping you, it's hindering you. So if you're having to wade through a lot of stuff to find the things you actually want in life, then that is a problem, and you might want to look at that. And anyway, I really hope you have fun tidying up, and and I hope it frees up a lot of energy for you to live positive, abundant lives. And as always, it's lovely to see you all. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe, and please gently press, we talked about this the other day, gently press the like button, no smashing. And hopefully see you in another video. Thanks for watching.